to the show. It's good to be back today. After not being here yesterday, I'm here. Ames is here. It's kind of weird. Does my camera look a little different? Does the picture look a little different to you?
Yeah. Oof. Yes, it does. It looks different.
Brighter or something?
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
way
it
it looks
looks
to me.
brighter. It looks
So,
like brighter and duller. Duller.
well, that's a
Duller. I don't know
that
if that's a
seems like
word,
you can't have brighter and duller.
but like it like has a brightness to it, but it also just looks not as crisp as what maybe the word I'm looking for. It's not as crisp.
Really? The
vibe I
logo,
get.
I agree. The logo above me. So here's I think what's going on. So I got a new laptop just like you did.
Oh, nice. Is it as
Yeah.
nice as mine?
No.
Good.
But it's very good. It's yours is fucking top of the line shit, and mine
Notice
is
I haven't had any issues, by the way.
what's that?
Since I've gotten the computer, I haven't had any issues.
No. So mine is really good. It's got the processing is much greater. Like all of it is much more. And I was all over Ron to get him to load this thing and figure, get it ready so that I can bring it into the studio. The graphics, everything is so much faster. It's processing everything. It's all over my head, but apparently it's the cat's ass too. And so he did all that because he's a saint of a human being. And then I couldn't pair. Like what I do is I bring my laptop from my room where I prep. And so I've got my laptop there and I've got all my stuff and then I print my stories. And then I just bring the laptop in here, plug it into a docking station, and here we are. And but I've still got a wireless keyboard here that if I need, I can pull stuff up. But anyways, I couldn't get the keyboard to work. I could only get it to work in one room. And I'm like, it won't work. This stinks. And so it's been sitting for like a month after I made Aaron jump through these hoops to get it going for me. And so my mom and dad are in town. Cece's in love, was in the Pazzool yesterday, showing off to Graham. And I'm like, Dad, I'm having this problem. I can't figure out. My dad's kind of a whiz bang with this stuff. And he's like, all right, let's just go through it step by step and we'll figure it out, and he got it working. And now it doesn't know any of my passwords. It doesn't know shit. It's like, oh, who are you? Mm. And so it's fucking me up a little bit, but
is it a Mac?
Here. No, it's actually an HP. I'm not a big, I like Macs for iPads and phones, but I have
basically the laptop.
Right. And I have, honestly, I have multiple iMac laptops. I just don't use them.
Yeah.
So I like this better.
Setup's way easier
on the Mac. I need to just do that and get there one day, but it requires like, okay, now I'm doing an Apple operating system for this whole thing.
Yeah.
And I'll probably get there, but whatever.
That's why when you were like, if you need help setting it up, I'm like, no, zero setup required with a Mac.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, like zero setup required. That's what's great about them.
Yeah. So. No, I get that. And they're all so good. The Macs.
Yeah, they are.
There's no doubt. I'm looking at one right now. I have a dope ass one sitting right over there. Just needs to be plugged in, but I haven't done it. So anyways, this is the first day of using this new setup, new laptop, and hopefully, but I noticed the picture looks a little bit different. So I don't know.
Yeah,
it is what it is, but hopefully it's stable and good, and we'll see.
What kind of light do you use? Just like a ring light or something?
Schritt. It's Schritt lighting for right now. No, I don't even use a ring lighting. No.
Oh, just like above you or whatever?
Yeah, remember, this is still just temporary until I get Trav out here. Mm-hmm. So I'm ordering equipment this week, and then I'll just have to schedule up with Trav and then get him out here. And, hopefully in 2-3 days that he's here, we can dial this in how I want it.
It was funny. Like with Polly, I would be like, okay, I would take a picture of my setup and she would be like, okay, this needs to go up more and that light needs to go down more. And that's going to create less shadow. And she's like, move this to the right. And, so like I'm like, this is what the lighting looks like. And she would be like, okay, your left side has too much shadow. So you need to add a light on this.
Oh my God.
Was super helpful.
Dude. And yours looks awesome.
Well, thank you.
It really does. It looks
Polly did a
great.
good job.
Yeah. Dude, that's so funny. I
Yeah.
know I still haven't bit the bullet. I'm
Come on, Mike. Polly gave you
I know.
a setup list. I told Mike wants to get a chief of staff like I
Yeah.
have with Polly. And so I told Polly that Mike wants to get a chief of staff and she was like she was like, "Do you want me to create a checklist for Mike to like this is exactly what you have to tell your chief of staff. Just answer these
Yeah.
questions, copy and paste, answer the questions and
Can
boom, he's
I
going to be
ask
like configured."
your chief of staff a question that I don't know how to deal with, but it's for off the air.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's personal as shit in nature.
But you trust Polly?
Yeah, I trust you and Polly, yeah.
Okay. I
But
can
if
actually
and it
start a chat and then share it,
okay.
and then you have
It
access
doesn't
to, like, my
involve me, but it's super, super close, super personal anyways, and I don't know how to handle it. I don't know what to do. So maybe Polly would be like,
Polly's
"Okay,
great at things like that.
yeah, because I'm honestly kind of stuck, and I wish I could tell you guys about it. And no offense to anybody, but it's one of those things that like that's why. So I don't know, but I'll throw it to you after the show
Okay.
and
Sounds good.
see what Polly says and if it's something I can navigate.
Sounds like
But
a
anyway,
plan.
we are back today. A lot to get to. Why don't we do a read real quick as we'll do a member show tomorrow, patreon.com/TDC podcast. If you want to become a member, this part of the show brought to you by Mitten Millworks. Dreaming of a home that truly reflects you, tired of outdated spaces holding you back. At
Yeah.
Mitten Millworks, they are your local experts in residential remodeling, handling every detail from stunning basement finishes to sleek kitchen and bathroom overhauls. Need custom built-ins that maximize your style? They've
Yeah.
got you covered. Plus, their cutting-edge 3D drawings let you visualize and perfect your dream layout before they lift a hammer. Why wait? Call Mitten Millworks today. Please do. Call them.
They're
248.
coming here.
Are they really? Are they coming
Yeah.
to do some stuff at your place?
Yeah. Give the number.
248-497-7780. That's for a free estimate. Let's craft the home you love right here in the Mitten.
Yes,
So yeah,
they
they're
are
coming to
coming
your
here.
place.
Yeah. Uh, I think I might have sent it to you, but I've got this front room that currently is being it was
Oh yeah.
Rocky's office, and
Yep.
so it has a desk in there and stuff, but Rocky goes to the office 5 days a week pretty much now. Sometimes 4, but pretty much 5. He doesn't need that whole front room as his office. Like, if he works from home one day, he can come into my office, work from here,
Mm-mm.
and I mean, I don't need to sit at a desk or whatever. So, I'm like, "We're done using that front room as your office," and but the dogs like to sit it's like a big window that's in the front. The dogs like to sit there, and so I was like,
A
"I
bay
should have
window.
Yeah, it's like a bay window. But I was like, "I should have Mitten Millworks." I was talking about I had Polly do a markup, and I was like, "Polly," like, I took a picture of the window, and I was like, "Put a build-in with, like, 2, sides to it, and then a bench in this space," and then she did that, and I sent it to Mitten Millworks. I was like, "Can you guys do something like this?" He was like, "Hell yeah." So he's
Oh,
gonna
that's
come out
awesome.
and take measurements and stuff and get a quote, so, it's bonus time, Mike, and so I gotta spend the
Oh
money
yeah, there
before
you
it burns
go.
a hole in my
I
pocket.
think you sent me a picture. Was that Polly's work?
Yeah, that was Polly's work.
Okay, I'd have to go back because there's so many memes of you waiting for me that it takes forever to truck through them. All the
I
Amy's an
think no, I sent it
asshole.
in the TDC, with you
Oh, did you?
yeah, with you and Greg.
That's gonna run into the same problem, that I'll have to go through 1,000 memes from
I
you
think
and 3G.
Can you see it here?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So that's not what it looks like now, but that's what you want it to look like?
Right.
Yeah, that's
Right
cool as
now, it's
shit. So
just a
you've got like
window.
a library area on either side. You could do books
Yeah.
and yeah. No,
Like,
that's
we've
very
got
cool.
helmets and signed stuff, like, we could
Dude,
put on those shelves or whatever.
like this
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, we got full-size helmets.
So do I. I have tons of them. Stop. Don't act like you're better than me with the full-size helmets, okay? I have a Redskins helmet. All right? Full size.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see, maybe we can get it done for Mitten Millworks. That would be awesome. So they're gonna come out and
Hell
measure and give me a
yes.
quote and whatnot.
248-497-7780. And they're listeners. That's the best part. They're the ones that
Yes.
I like the most. You get to know these people as you guys work with them. Occasionally you run into problems. We've had that too, where people have had a not great experience with someone, but we try to that's very rare. It's very rare. Usually and I would expect nothing but the best from the guys over at Mitten Millworks. As listeners, they're familiar with the show, the monsters, and all that stuff, and we've had great success. It doesn't mean
Great
that
success.
occasionally you don't have stories that suck to
Yeah.
discuss when it involves sponsors. And we've been very lucky over the years. There was one time when Zott Ford had someone that put a camera in a toilet
Mm.
and was filming vagines and whatever. And I don't know that we even did that story. They were like a main sponsor at the time, and it was like, this is fucking creepy as shit. And there's a lot of Zott locations, and
Mhm.
like if you have someone at your company that's determined to be a fucking creep, and you have hundreds of employees, like they can do that.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do.
And so that story hit the papers. Well, I of course got hit with a bunch of people reaching out to me about our friends over at Deer Lake Athletic Club. And
Yes.
they had a horrible incident last Friday, I guess it
Yeah,
was,
I think it was.
where a 4-year-old girl drowned at
Oof.
the pool at one of the Pazools.
Oh, man, they've got 3 Pazools, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah, and they've got the Deer Lake Dolphins and
Yeah.
the restaurant. So this is, it sucks. First off, it's local, and we know the people over there,
Right.
personally know them. We know how hard they work. It's family run. It's great in the little community there in Clarkston. And, it's a recreation spot. It's a restaurant.
Spot.
You know, it's what?
A spot.
It's a spot for sure. And the food's great, and they care. And we've sent many a listener over there that hell, they could be watching us right now. So when a story like this happens, it's like, oh fuck. And they're being kind of quiet, the reporting anyways, about what they're doing, but it sounds like a couple moms met up there, brought their kids, and just like, yeah, go on the
They had a
Pazool.
gaggle of kids with them,
Yeah,
it sounds like, ranging from, like, 12 to 4.
4. Yeah,
It sounds like they were told to threw some pool toys in the pool and told the older one to watch the kids, and they went up into the bar restaurant to have
yeah,
some food and drinks, and, the news story I read said that there's 2 very clear signs posted at the pool that there's no lifeguard on duty, and
yeah.
everyone under the age of 16 or 18 or something, at 16, I think, has to be with a
16, I think.
parent.
Yeah,
Um,
has to have adult
s
supervision.
yeah, so, there's nothing that, it's a very unfortunate incident that happened at Deer Lake Athletic Club, but nothing that they did wrong.
Right.
It sounds like the article I saw today is that the mom could face charges,
Yeah.
over this because
Yeah. Yeah, it's in the hands of the prosecutor's office now.
yeah,
I'd be almost surprised if they didn't face charges, to be honest with you. Like there's a responsibility when you go to a pool, and we've all been to, like, I don't care what pool you're at, community pool, when I was in Farmington Hills, there was one, Beachview Swim Club, and all the neighborhood kids would hang out there. And there are just times when there's no lifeguard on duty that's not posted, and like you have a responsibility of like watching these people. You can't just walk away. As someone who had a pool, right?
mhm.
Um, like there were lots of people that came over to my pool, and most of them are adults because I'm not hanging out with kids. But there were times, the warden brought Marshall over. He was probably 4. He was probably 4 or 5, maybe. Still had floaties on for safety. And it's like a man, I remember the warden was like, I got to take this call. And she walked into the kitchen and I'm sitting in there. I'm like, where's Marshall? She's like, he's in the Pazul. I was like, yeah, okay. And I just immediately went outside. It's like, no, dude, you don't fucking leave a 4-year-old in a pool. He's not
Right.
floating.
Right.
Things like he knows how to swim. Like, yeah, the
Yeah.
amount of parents that think their kid knows how to swim is hilarious.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
No, they
Like
don't.
when Kelly's had uh Natalie's birthday parties, you know, they have a Pazul and the kids bring their bathing suits and stuff, but she's always hired a lifeguard like for
Yeah.
the events.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm not fucking around with that. But yeah, it sounds like they had 6 kids there.
Yeah.
6 kids between the 2 of them.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I'd be interested. Anybody out there that grew up with a Pazul that's a female, did your mom burn it into your head like she burned it into mine and Kelly's? And I know my other 2 sisters too, I'm sure, that if you go down near the pool drain at the bottom of the pool, it's going to suck your hair in and you're going to drown.
Oh, that's funny. I've never heard that.
So to this day, like my sister and I will be in my mom's pool in Florida and we'll jokingly be like, dude, don't go down to the pool filter. She's like, yeah, your hair's going to get sucked in. And like, I know she's told Natalie that.
Yeah.
My mom's like, it's true.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've always had that fear of not going by the pool drain at the bottom of the pool.
Oh, that's funny. I've never heard that.
Yeah.
But so when Marshall was in, I'm out back just watching. Like, I'm not going to trust that a 4 or 5-year-old who knows how to swim, it actually knows how to swim. And
Right.
sure as shit, he gets out past, like mine was like a pretty steep grade and it got to the deep end really quick. And he starts, where he's on his tippy toes in the short end, he's fine. He's heads above water. He got to the deep end, and next thing you know, he's kind of flailing, and then his head's going under a little bit.
Yeah.
He wasn't even to the point of panicking, but it was like, okay, time to grab little man.
Mhm.
He's fucked if no one's here right now. He's drifting towards the deeper end. He's not able to grab the side. He's done. And it's like, no, you cannot leave them unattended for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You just can't do it.
No,
when I had Jenny and Raisa over, right? Jenny Fedorovich, our Russian friend. And she brought her little guy over and she was planning to buy my house at one point. And so they came over and they were trying to like, hey, we want to buy this house, cash deal, all the whole thing. So we're hanging out. We were spending a lot of time together. And it was like, bring your kid over. This is before they had the babies. It was just the boy. And he's standing on the edge of the pool and Rice is in the water. I'm outside of it and with Jenny. And all of a sudden the kid just in an instant, bonk, just drops into the pool like a rock to the bottom.
Oh my God.
And no one panicked and Raisa just fucking went and just dove straight down, scooped this little guy up and brought him up and you're okay.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh my, it really hit home. Like, yeah, we're having a conversation and thunk, this little thing goes in and down. It's over.
Yeah.
If you're
like
not
that 12-year-old,
attention,
if she looks down at her phone for 30 seconds and she's scrolling TikTok or whatever, and that kid just floats down into the deep end, she doesn't even realize, she's at the bottom of the pool.
And the 12-year-old is going to have to live with it. All those kids are going to have to live with this.
Imagine that guilt.
And putting that on a 12-year-old is insane. They're not capable of like true responsibility. Yeah. Do you have any idea how mature a fucking 12-year-old has to be?
Yeah.
Like, I don't let Cece in the pool when I'm not there.
Right.
Like Cece's not allowed. Like she knows not to go in the water unless Day's there. Unless an adult's there. That's my dog, dude. And
it'll probably be child endangerment for all the kids. One count for each kid, because I mean,
well, this is. Wait. You could be right. You could
because
be.
Now, I mean, think of that mom's decision to put that weight on that 12-year-old endangered her, and it's gonna cause her a whole lifetime of grief,
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. A
And the
lot of
sign
times in
says
these
16 and under, so
yeah. Yeah, we mostly ignore signs, I get that, but you can't when it comes to water with your kids. You just
no,
can't
no.
do it. Yeah, it's,
Super important too to,
so
like there is some I mean, like, one of my best friends lives in Florida, they have a Pazul and got each of their kids super early, like, infant training
yeah,
of what infants so they know what to do if they were to go in the water. Not infant, not like, not newborn, but pretty
yeah,
gosh darn young, and enough where they know, to face up and get to the side, and they just, they throw them in, and it's very controlled, but super
yeah.
important if you're gonna be around pools or water.
Yeah, yeah. Well, a lot of times when prosecutors are looking at these, it's very similar to the hot Carl, thing where you leave a toddler in a hot car in the summer, and
Mhm.
where at the end, like sometimes they charge him. The pigman was charged. He recently got out, by the way.
Oh, no
He's free
shit?
again. Yeah, the pigman's free.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah. Um, yeah, we should do a follow-up. I don't have a story or anything with details, but
Yeah,
yeah,
get it out
someone
of the
sent me that like,
Astronom file.
holy shit, the pigman's out. He might have got out a couple of years ago, actually,
Wow.
believe it or not. Yeah. But a lot of times they recognize like there's no amount of punishment we're
Right,
gonna give you
right.
that you're not
But
gonna give
it all
yourself.
depends on the circumstances, right? Like, okay, I mean, hypothetically, if we have the mom on camera and she's just like throwing pool toys in and she goes up and she's taking shots and I have no
Yeah.
idea. I'm just saying hypothetically. If she's drinking or whatever and paying no attention to her kids, that is
Yeah.
vastly different than say she steps aside cuz she gets an emergency call because her husband is in the hospital.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, this is a terrible situation all around. Clearly, she didn't mean to neglect her kid. Like, she was dealing with another emergency, so have to look at the circumstances.
I
I would
still
venture to
think
say it's probably more situation one than situation two based on
I
what I've read
I
in the
would st
article. But
I would still think, dude, when you get the phone call and, "Oh my god, my husband's been in a car accident,"
yeah,
and as you're running out of the pool area, you grab the first adult you see and go, "Keep an eye on the kids. I gotta
right,
take this."
right.
Like, that's just how moms react. The idea and that story doesn't give enough detail. The mom and her girlfriend went up for food and drinks. Well, that to me means cocktails. Now,
Right,
I don't know. Food and drinks doesn't mean, "Oh, we had a drink of water." Like,
right,
and I think that is relevant. Like, are you are you up having mixed drinks, having slamming back mimosas while
right.
for 40 minutes while you're a kid? Yeah. It sucks because the little conversation I had with Forey, it's the staff is crushed. There's a
Oh, I
lot of
can
moms
imagine.
that
Yeah.
work there, and they cannot like that's where they go to work. That's their place of employment.
They're
And it's like
always gonna
this,
think of that now.
yeah, this horrible tragedy that, has nothing nothing to do with them. They're doing their jobs.
Right.
Mom didn't do her job, unfortunately, and now they have to, they're all victims in this. So,
Mm. So
yeah,
sad.
just sucks.
Well, go support them.
Yeah, we'll
They
do their
need it.
read later to give it a little separation, but yeah, it's something we had to mention. Enough people had sent me the story too, and it's like, oh, I just feel bad for everyone involved. They've
Yeah,
always been
super
so
sad.
kind and great, and been there
But,
many,
like,
many
watch
times.
your
So
fucking kids.
yeah, exactly. Um, moving on to other things. Do you see the asshole Ryan Ruth? Ruth? Is it Ryan Ruth? The
I'm
guy
not
that attempted to kill the
Oh,
president.
yeah, 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 at Mar-a-Lago?
Yeah. Was it Mar-a-Lago or
No, it
was it
wasn't Mar-a-Lago. It was, some
Palm
other
Beach?
golf course.
Yeah. He was I'm surprised he got Judge Eileen Cannon. Is she the only judge in Florida?
Why does that name sound familiar? What other judge was she what was she a
She
judge
was
on?
a she was appointed by Trump in the first term, I believe. She has thrown out some of these cases that the left has tried to bring against Trump.
Okay.
Like, oh yeah, we're just going to have
that's why I knew her name. Okay.
small
Yeah.
district courts deciding federal cases around the country because they're radical leftists.
Yeah.
So I think Judge Eileen Cannon has stepped in numerous times and said, yeah, you're overstepping your bounds, sir. Fuck off. I think, but her name's come up quite a few times. I'm shocked that someone who's like radically anti-Trump, they wouldn't move to a different judge. I mean, you're in that district, So she was the ruling judge, handed down a sentence. Marks a win for the Justice Department as he was sentenced today to life in prison.
Good.
Yeah.
Although,
he decided to represent himself too in court.
What an idiot.
Yeah.
What an idiot. There's people, what's his face, who shot at was it Reagan? Who did he shoot at that he just got out recently? Was it Reagan?
Well, he shot
the
Reagan.
Jodie Foster guy.
Yeah.
He did shoot Reagan.
Yep.
He's out now.
Is he? Yeah, but they're keeping an eye on him.
Yeah, but it's like he shot a president.
Yeah.
And he's out. And this guy, he didn't get a shot off.
I read stories about him. This is going back a few years, so I don't remember.
He's like a musical career or something.
Yeah, he wants to, and I think he's still insane. Like that's dangerous to. I think some of his writings and some of the stuff he's told therapists in that hospital were like, why don't we just keep him in a padded room?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's allowed to leave.
If you shoot the president, you either leave, you're leaving in a body bag one way or the other. Either there at the event or when you die in jail.
I'd be fine with that. And I think he had to move in with his mom. And he can't leave his community or something like that, like in Virginia.
Right.
I can't remember the details, but I remember there was people going to bat for him.
Yeah, he would go to like this particular subway a lot.
Bill.
Yeah, look at Bill.
$20. Great show. Thank you, Bill.
Thanks, Bill.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Thank
Hinckley,
you for the
Hink Dog. Hink Dog.
Hinckley, yes. David Hinckley?
John
Hinckley. John Hinckley Jr.? But am I thinking of like a broadcaster?
Maybe.
What did Drew used to call him? The Hink Dog?
Hink Dog.
Hink Dog?
Yes.
I think if you read into that, if you look at stories into that, there were people going to bat for him, including his mom and all that. But there were other stories about previous times he tried to get out. And it's like, yeah, he seems very much on edge still and not all there. Like, I don't know what the point is in letting this person out.
Yeah.
Like, is he going to like solve? Is he going to fucking be the breakthrough guy on cancer for society? Like, what are we doing?
I know.
Well, I think we'll live without his supreme guitar and vocals.
Seriously, like he needs to be under some kind of if you shoot at the president, you need to be under some type of supervision at all times.
My guess is if the left gets back in power in 2028, they will give Ryan Routh a pardon.
Yeah,
federally, and they will give him, I don't know, the Medal of Freedom.
Yeah, right.
We'll see some douchebag pinning a medal on him for his heroism.
Yes,
heroism.
So
yeah, my guess is he will not spend the rest of his life behind bars, but that's the sentence he was given. Convicted as he hid in the bushes with a rifle as Trump was golfing at West Palm Beach Golf Course, September 15th. His attempt was thwarted by, this is incredible, by the way, that this Secret Service agent, Robert Fricano.
They were like, we're not falling down again.
Well, was that, no, that happened 2 months later, Butler.
I thought Butler happened first.
I think, let's see, does it say in here?
Because I thought it was, they always used to say it was another attempt.
Okay, it says Routh's attempt to kill Trump came just 2 months after Thomas Crooks fired 8 shots at Trump and struck him in the ear during a campaign rally in Butler, PA.
Yeah. So it was afterwards.
So it was after that. Okay.
Yeah, so they were on alert. Like,
yeah, but that was like, obviously it's a private course. And so if you've all been to a private course or driven by them, and you can't see shit. There's always hedges on the fence line for privacy. And this guy was tucked in between, and that agent saw like a rifle barrel through the hedges somehow.
Dude.
Like that, it's a miracle that you would see that.
Yeah.
And took a shot at him. And
Wow.
and the guy jumped into his piece of shit car and took off. So he was eventually caught on interstate going north on Interstate 95. He represented himself and argued merely having a weapon in the presence of another is not intent. Yeah. They found him guilty on all 5 counts. A jury deliberated for 2 hours. After the verdict was handed down, he grabbed a pen in the courtroom and tried to go stabby on his neck. Evidence presented during the trial included some of his writings. So he's just a guy with a gun out there. It doesn't mean he had intent to do anything. So his writings, he discussed his displeasure with Trump, wrote that Iran is free to assassinate Trump as well as me. The FBI obtained a letter he delivered that Routh was delivered to a civilian witness, which said, quote, "This was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump, but I failed you. I tried my best and gave it all the gumption I could muster. It is up to you now to finish the job, and I will offer $150,000 to whomever can complete the job."
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
what a fucking idiot.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, good riddance. You know,
they also found, by the way, lastly, a list of flights out of the country in his car.
Of course.
Yeah. So
Charlie Kirk's alleged killer, Tyler Robinson, was in court yesterday. Yeah, yesterday I was watching it. And because his defense team is trying to disqualify the Utah prosecutor's office because
they're biased.
The lead prosecutor, his daughter was at the event.
Yeah, that's not enough.
And they were like, she's not a witness. Nothing that she saw is not anything that like we didn't get from 1,000 other people. You know, we don't need her to prove anything. She wasn't in the line of the shot such that she could have been a potential victim. Like she was there, but you know, she hasn't suffered anything because of it. She hasn't had to miss school or anything, but it was this big hullabaloo and they have to call witnesses and it's this whole big thing.
Are you watching this?
Yeah. On YouTube.
Okay. See, I think it's really weird that the Ryan Routh one, I didn't even know this trial was going on.
Right.
Did you hear anything about this? Guy tries to assassinate the president. He's sentenced now. I didn't even know.
Yeah, I feel like it was not a televised trial because it was federal, if I'm remembering correctly, because federal's not televised.
And so was
Tyler Robinson is being tried in Utah and not federal.
Okay. But still, I would think press would be reporting on this. Do they just not care because it was Trump and they're pissed the guy failed?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely saw it when he was found guilty. That was a couple months ago.
Yeah.
But I think, when things aren't televised, it just doesn't get as much like, but you would think that it would. I mean, he tried to kill the president.
I know. It's just, dude, it is so, it's getting to the point, it's just infuriating now where these stories that go viral or they're big national news are just flat ignored. Ignored by mainstream press. It's unbelievable to me. It's happening time and time again where it's like, okay, I guess I'm going on the dark web to find some independent news source who has some details on it. The guy that today, angry father accuses Washington school of taking his young son to an ICE protest without his consent. That is a story that involves children. One of the biggest stories in America right now, ICE and law enforcement and this battle. There is literally no fucking stories about this. Like, not even local ones. Like, this historically would probably be worthy of national attention, 100% worthy of local press in Washington would be covering the story. Nope. I found it on Nerd Stash. So The great outlet Nerd Stash with it. Furious father in White Center, Washington, took to the internet to reveal that his young son was taken to an anti-ICE protest by his middle school without his consent. The dad called this an act of indoctrination, is planning to sue the school district. Vance Glaw is his name, revealed in a clip, and I'll play the clip for you in a second here, that his son was at an ICE protest. According to him, his son was the one to inform him, saying that his school, Cascade Middle School, brought him and his classmates to the protest to protest the law enforcement agency. On the way to school, father explained that this area is commonly referred to as Rat City, White Center. Like Rat City's not a safe place. You would never want your kids hanging out there. So here he is.
Yeah, I have to imagine you need
My
like a
son just
permission
called,
slip.
said that
Yeah, I mean, that's like, I remember like the little stuff. Marshall was supposed to go on a field trip with his class going somewhere, and you had a certain date you had to turn your permission slip in.
Yeah.
And Marshall's super responsible for an 11-year-old. And so he didn't have his permission slip, never brought it home, whatever. He's the first kid in the history of children who doesn't care for field trips. Never heard anything like that before, but whatever. Here we are. So he doesn't give a shit and doesn't bring it home. And it's like, yeah, you don't get to go, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Period. So the idea that you would take middle school kids out of the classroom and give them picket signs, have them make picket signs and go out to the streets during school. This father, well, I'll let you watch him and tell me what you think.
but my son just called and said that his school just brought him to a protest. So he's currently at a fucking protest. I'm fitting to go rage. Who the fuck said you could bring my child to a protest? Any of our kids to a protest. They see what's happening today. Bringing kids out there now.
This seems a touch performative to me.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
are we sure this happened?
I mean, we can go by his video and his kid. They did have a protest at this school,
Okay.
walking around. But this seems to me like someone who is going to need a GoFundMe of some sort.
Yeah.
That kind of thing where people have learned. We have, we have, just like Pavlov's dog, we have rung the bell enough times that people know they can get in the middle of a heated, debate and become a hero for their side. And so that's kind of the vibe this guy's giving off. Maybe this is totally genuine. I have no idea. But that's just kind of the way it strikes me right
Purposely in schools. Washington State. Send this out. Washington State sending their kids to protest. I'll see you soon. Let me give you a little rundown on the way there. White Center, we call out here Rat City. If anybody from Washington State knows this Rat City is not an area you bring kids, let alone bring kids to a protest in this piece of shit city. If anybody knows White Center, you know Rat City is dangerous. Why are you bringing our kids into dangerous territory with fucking protesting going on? Anyway, I'll see you soon. See you in the next video. It looks like they made it all back to the school already before I could get here.
Mm-hmm.
He goes on and on. I've got another video of his too. I'll play. But what do you think? First thoughts, initial thoughts.
I've got questions.
Yeah.
I mean, if it happened, then yeah, that's fucked up. But I just feel like he's not the most credible, and he kind of makes me cringe a little bit.
Little bit cringy. Take it.
See you later.
Yeah. But, it could just be him. I don't know. So here was his follow-up.
I've word that my son can no longer go to school because people were threatening to press him and jump it because of my post. Because I was concerned for my child's safety, was not informed that he was attending a protest that ended deadly. These things have been ending deadly, and they brought my child there, 14-year-old child. So now he's going to get the backlash from it, so I cannot put him in school. I'm going to have to homeschool him. Now I got to get a computer. So that's where I'm at now.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah,
Oh.
I've been looking for a lawyer.
Oh,
Oh,
we- so we
oh.
need a computer,
Now we need a computer and a lawyer.
a lawyer, and homeschooling's not cheap. Let's be honest, Amy.
That guy is gonna homeschool his kid.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Lawyer.
So-
Some people have reached out to me.
Son,
This
come
is
to
an update.
homeschool.
I will keep you informed.
I will keep you informed.
But I haven't found a pro bono lawyer. That's why I do have the gifts and go in my profile.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Oh.
Okay. He's got the gifts and go in his profile now.
That
So
didn't
what is that
take
going
long.
to take? $500,000?
Oh, easily. I mean, he's got to get a computer, Mike.
Yeah. And a computer. You don't have a computer? Who doesn't have a computer?
I think a lot of people don't have computers.
Really?
Yeah, because I think people, unless you're like, I think people have computers for work. Kids have computers for school. But like, if you're just someone who doesn't need a computer for anything, I think you're doing most of your stuff on your phone or your iPad.
Yeah. See, I would consider an iPad a computer, but I guess.
Oh no, I would think they're very different.
And I kind of figure maybe not, but I just assume most schools nowadays are supplying computers.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they do.
For kids, right?
Yep.
I know. I think G got Marshall a computer. I know G did, but I think the school gives them shitty computers. So many of my clients don't have computers. Okay, really? Yeah, there's no doubt. There is I live in my world, you live in your world. It's radically different from some people's worlds, no question about it.
It's just so funny. We used to have like a whole computer room growing up. It was like, oh, we have the
At the
computer
house?
room at the house. Yeah, like
Yeah.
the room with the big desk and the computer and the printer, and you had to use the dial-up internet, and
Yeah.
if your mom was on it, you can go play The Sims and AOL Instant Messenger with your friends.
Yeah. No, my generation, that conversation would have been like the phone. There was a phone in one of the rooms wired to the wall, and if someone was on it, you had to wait, and then call waiting was a big thing when it came.
Yeah.
Like you
That's
had to
what
have
my mom-
conversations in front of everybody,
My
because
mom was like, we had our house phone, we had the internet phone line that was different, so that if we were on the internet, it wasn't taking up the phone.
yeah.
Then we had, me and Kelly each had our own separate lines, and my grandma had her own separate lines. So everybody in the phone in the house had their own separate lines, because we were all like women and wanted to use the phone.
See, my parents early on, we had a phone number 313. Oh yeah. Before probably we had the number before even the area codes 313s, and then we were 810 and then 248.
Yeah.
But we had a line, and then when I was probably 10 or 12 or something, they were like, fuck this, we're getting a second line, and it was one digit off from their phone number.
Yeah.
And so like early on we had that. So we had a kids line and then the folks line.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. Different world, man. But I was reading this article, and I'll read parts of it to you, from the Spectator. And they're talking about this, that teachers unions have hijacked these classrooms and are indoctrinating kids with this whole, deportation story. And it just sounds awful. Sounds awful. And I don't know what we do. This is just so foreign to me as someone, we obviously all went to elementary school, middle school, high school. The thought of these people getting out of what their job is and taking us down this road is insane to me. We've often talked about like, yeah, you didn't know your teacher's name. You just didn't. You wouldn't refer to them as, oh, my teacher Linda. Like, it was Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so. And you didn't think of them as having a life or being a human being on any level. Even in high school, they were not human beings. They might as well have lived in the classroom at the school.
Mhm.
And that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. That was what they did. Like the idea that they dated, had personal lives. Like, no, we were completely separate from the teacher's existence.
Right.
That's just the way it was. A wave of school protests sweeping the U.S. in response to the ICE protests in Minnesota has revealed how teachers' unions have weaponized classrooms for their own agenda. The unions have revealed themselves as political operatives, more concerned with indoctrinating children than teaching them reading, writing, and arithmetic. These disruptions didn't materialize out of thin air. The teachers' union fired the starting gun by blasting out anti-ICE propaganda to teachers, urging them to rally against ICE, turn schools into battlegrounds for their partisan fights. The National Education Association is also pushing teachers to print out immigration-related political propaganda posters, put them in their classrooms. Teachers' unions across the country posted on their official social media accounts a call for teachers to wear blue at school on January 23rd to protest ICE and stand with Minnesota. Washington Education Association pushed teachers to attend anti-ICE training hosted by the NEA last month. The union's fingerprints are everywhere. They organized and promoted the No Kings protest, rallying against immigration, tying it to anti-Trump hysteria. In June, protests against mass deportation raids escalated into full-blown riots. President Randy Weingarten, she might as well be running the DNC at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Released a statement attacking Trump's decision to deploy troops, and NEA President Becky Pringle rallied the anti-ICE protesters in Los Angeles. At their annual convention in Portland, the NEA passed resolutions explicitly pledging to combat Trump's fascism and agenda. They misspelled fascism, by the way. They declared support for a mass democratic movement against Trump's authoritarianism and human rights violations. It's high time Congress revokes the NEA's federal charter. Granted in 1906, this special privilege makes them the only union with such status, lending a false veneer of legitimacy and tax benefits. They've abused it shamelessly by proving themselves an arm of the Democrat Party. In the last election cycle, over 98% of their campaign contributions flowed to the Democrats. That sounds like just playing it down the middle, right?
Yeah, right.
8%.
Wild.
Their president just spoke on a Sunrise Movement panel titled Roadmap to Political Revolution. Their annual convention, the Teacher of the Year was awarded and declared her job is deeply political and always has been. One of the original arguments for public schools was to foster a cohesive society uniting diverse Americans under shared values, but the teachers union cartel has hijacked the system and flipped it on its head. They're using taxpayer-funded classrooms to indoctrinate kids with their political pet projects. The radical left realize they don't need to have kids of their own to shape the nation's future. They can infiltrate government schools and mold millions of other people's children into their socialist worldview. These unions hypocritically call conservatives fascists while demanding a monopoly on education to pump Marxist propaganda into every classroom. It goes on and on. This is what it appears like. I mean, is this just a hit piece from the Spectator on what these unions, how they're behaving? This is what I see. This is what it appears like they're doing.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Get them young.
Yeah, I mean, it's at the colleges, and
I'm sure your mom would have a radically different take and be like, that's nonsense. But I don't know, man. I don't see anyone from the school systems, teachers unions standing up for the other side of the country. I don't see that at all. I mean, if that's going on, I feel like that would be press worthy if anyone was doing that. I see a lot of furious parents going to town halls and to teacher related events, school events, and flying off the handle. I see that all the time.
Yep. Well, if anything, I think it's gotten parents more involved, and like, over my dead body, are you going to be doing this to my kids? And I think you're going to see a large contingent of homeschooling. That's really gone up with my generation, because I think it's, they've got like homeschooling communities now where it's like, you do your shit at home, but, you get together and have, these hangouts with these other homeschooled kids. So you have some like socialization.
Well, I have long thought of school as more of a, an 8-hour babysitter for your
Totally.
kids. The parents love it. I can get shit done during the day.
Yeah.
You know,
Or
if
they have
you're
to work.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if I was going to say they're either working or if you're lucky enough, my sister doesn't work. She's got her master's degree, used to work, and loved it, but she's raising children. So she's
Mhm.
like, okay, I'm going to stay home. Jen goes to work. But those hours during the day, during the week is when she gets all her shit done,
Mhm.
especially when they were younger, when they couldn't be left home alone. They're pretty responsible kids. So
Mhm.
you can leave them home now. And yeah, devils appreciate the work. What was that?
Monsters appreciate the support. Praying. This is for you, I believe.
Oh, praying for the family and the dumplings in heaven. Yeah, yeah. It's horrible. Going back to the story of Deer Lake Athletic Club. um, yeah, I get it. But I hope that's true, Amy, that a lot of parents are going, fuck this, man. Whatever I
Yeah,
gotta
or
do.
like, I mean, Kelly sends Natalie to a Christian school, and
Yep.
wasn't
Yeah.
super religious before that, but you know,
That's why Landau sends his kid there.
yeah, big
That,
difference.
yeah. Landau absolutely sends his kid to the same Christian school. And that's because they're not going to pull that shit
Right.
at the Christian school that they
Right.
apparently are doing in these public schools.
And I mean, honestly, like, I'm not saying you can't be a little asshole and go to a Christian school, but I look at my niece and how sweet she is, and like she talks about God and Jesus, and she like prays and stuff, and it's like I think she'd be exposed to different things if she were just in a public school. Which
yeah.
public schools are, I mean, I went to public school and I
Yep.
turned out
Me too.
great.
Yeah. Me
Look at
too.
us.
I didn't learn shit in public school, I'll be honest with you. I didn't like
No.
being there. It wasn't
Fuck
for me.
no.
And I used it as a hangout place.
Yeah, of
I
course. Yeah,
was,
school was number 2 to
oh
socializing.
yeah, it was 100% about socializing.
Yeah.
And my guess is like, I don't really see that with when I've taken Marshall. Now he goes to, he's in Scottsdale and goes to a good school or, a lot of healthy environments around him. So my guess is they're not going to be like, I'd be shocked if they like, oh yeah, Marshall's, protesting ICE,
Right.
walking around with like, no, I don't think they would do shit like that in a place like this, but doesn't mean they're not doing it in hundreds of places elsewhere around the country,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? So I don't know, but what I do know is when you're talking about a 14-year-old or an 11-year-old, they are literal retarded human beings. They're retarded. Sorry, hate to tell you, it's not their
Yeah.
fault, but they are. The idea, like I see these comments, because there was one in Michigan. Wasn't there one this just a few days ago in Michigan where kids were protesting? And it's like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We all remember that.
Plymouth Canton Educational Park had a walkout today, I think.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, it's tired to even say at this point, but we all know what that is. Like
Yeah.
every kid wants to walk out of school and fuck around with a
Yeah,
string. Like,
100%.
that's what it is. Do you have one kid probably going to be the class president someday? One nerd who is kind of following what's going on? Yeah, probably. There
Yeah.
probably is that kid, but 99% of them are looking forward to the next fire drill, not for fire
100%.
safety,
Yeah.
but to
Yeah.
go spend 5 minutes fucking around outside of the school.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And so using these little toddlers as like, look at the young generation, I've never been prouder of them. Those comments from people are delusional.
Yeah.
Delusional.
Yeah.
But thousands of those comments is what I saw on Facebook. Like, never been prouder of our kids. The young generation's going to save the country. It's like, maybe, but it's not when they're fucking 12 and 14 because they're really invested in what's going on with deportations.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, if you look at the statistics now, today, nationally, on do you support all deportations? All, like, not, just the ones that committed crimes and the ones that have committed multiple crimes. No, all. If you are here illegally, do you support deportations? It's well over 50% of the country.
Yeah.
Okay. You're talking about the majority, left and right. You're talking in some polls, 56%, 57% of Americans, some as high as 60+% of Americans.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all illegals. Like, that's where the country is now on these. So this idea that, oh, the education system is going to rally against ICE, go fuck yourselves. Who do you think you are?
Remember that superintendent that that wasn't illegal not too long ago? Where was that? Colorado or something.
Yeah. That they
and he
deported.
like got arrested and they found guns on him, and the district did this like whole, like, oh, we can't believe it. He was so nice. And it's like, so you did zero fucking background on this guy? Zero.
And they protested to save him.
Uh-huh.
They wanted to keep him there. They were rallying for him. He was a
until they found out about his felonies. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe. But I remember at the time, the school people were like, "Oh my God, he's great. We love him." And the kids love him. All that kind of shit. There was a cop that was just picked up on a detainer 3 days ago, like in the last week before they handed him his fucking pistol, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you're a foreign." Blah, 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 with a deportation order. And they arrested him. So, yeah, it's crazy. It's just, I just never thought we'd be talking about the school system like this. I'd love to hear your mom's input on it, honestly.
She'd come on and talk about it.
Yeah. Or just find out what she's going to say, and then we'll relay it to us.
Before we did the podcast, I was watching Megyn Kelly dropped an interview with JD Vance.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Really?
Yeah, I love JD Vance. He just speaks so well, and he's just a normal dude. And
they hate him more than they hate Trump.
I know. But she said, one of the things my audience wanted me to ask you about the most, the thing they're most frustrated about is how poor you guys are and how poor the Republicans are at messaging. And, like, you have had successes and you suck at telling people what they are. You're obviously not getting mainstream media coverage. You're never going to.
I was just going to say, that's a big problem, is no one in the mainstream media is going to cover it.
Right. So it's like, and JD Vance was like, yeah, we know that. And 2025 was kind of like, getting our agenda off the ground and getting stuff in the works. But 2026, we're going to be on the ground more, visiting states more, and going, more on podcasts like they did before the election. Going on podcasts like Megyn Kelly, or, like even stuff like Theo Vaughn and stuff, and just talk to different audiences about your successes.
I think going on more not so partisan like Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly's great. She's smart, but she is completely dismissed by half the nation. And so you're preaching to the choir when you go on Megyn Kelly. You go on Theo Vaughn, you're going to have people.
Yeah, or Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
And going on those types of shows gives people an opportunity. They're going to ask different questions than Megyn Kelly's going to ask. And they're going to ask questions that are on everyday Americans' minds. So I think it's important to continue to do that. Like that, they were very successful in that leading up to the election. So hopefully get a little bit better at messaging.
Yeah, I agree. It'd be great. I think more JD Vance, the better, because he's really good. I think Trump, irritates me when I listen to him. I'm like, oh God, I know what he's trying to say, and I'm willing to give the benefit of the doubt because I know where he's going, but he is what he is. He can't help it. And so it comes off where it makes it so easy to grab a line, 5 lines out of an interview and paint him as even worse than they already feel about him. It's really easy to do. But with JD Vance, it becomes much harder to do
Yeah.
that because he's so well spoken.
Mike, it's been a minute since I've mentioned Karen Reed, but I was watching a video, and I can't remember who it was to give them credit for it, but it was a video on YouTube. And I had thought I'd heard all the Karen Reed or what happened to John O'Keefe speculation,
What you got fat, you mean?
No, like about like what happened to him. How did he die? That you're thinking of Proctor.
Oh, I'm thinking of Michael
John
Proctor.
O'Keefe is the one that died. What happened to him? Like what really happened to him? Did he get punched? Blah blah blah. Now,
hit with a dumbbell.
So, he had Karen says she pulled a piece of glass out of his nose when she found him, and there was a broken cocktail glass found next to him. And he had like a cut above his eye as well. And so this theory that I heard, I was like, I can't believe I never fucking thought of this. Because they say, he fell back and hit his head on something that was rigid and
dumbbell or a weight. I think he hit his head on a weight.
Well, this makes the most sense to me. So I think they're standing there at the sliding glass door that's like kind of right there when you walk in. I think John O'Keefe walks in. He takes his shoes off. He's only got socks on. He's on the hardwood floor. I think Brian Albert lets Chloe the dog in. John had a cocktail glass from the bar that he took out of the bar that he probably had in his hand when he got out of Karen's car, walks into the house. The dog sucks with strangers, comes barreling in, jumps on him as he's taking a drink. The cup breaks, hence the glass in his nose and the cut above his eye. He falls, hits his head on the fireplace that's right there in the living room, and boom, they go into panic mode. I was like, that sounds so fucking like probable, because he had the glass in his nose and they put the glass, there was a broken cocktail glass, so he could have been sipping it as the dog like hits him,
Here's the thing though. This is a house full of cops and cop family members, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they would have any problem. Like, they're not going to be intimidated by an interview process with law enforcement. They know, like, if that happened, that's a terrible accident. You could easily, in my opinion, 4 people, like if this was a regular house party, me and you and blah, 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 and something like that happened, panicking. I could see people going into panic, shit. Okay. But those people I would think would go, what the fuck? And go call the police immediately and go, oh my God,
okay,
John,
but what if
bars went down, the dog bit him and he fell over, he's not breathing, send someone immediately. Like, that seems like that would be an easy one.
Yeah, but what if that's not the first incident with the dog? What if the dog is already on a naughty list of the dog has attacked another dog, has attacked a person, and like had to get the dog registered at the city or the county or whatever because she was violent. So,
well, is the dog on a list like that?
Yes. Yeah. She had multiple incidents. And so, yeah, and they were super drunk. And so I don't think necessary. So it could be, I've got fucking liability here because I knew my dog was violent and she attacked somebody and they died. So yeah. I don't know. I was just like, my God, it just makes so much sense. And then I think it's possible too that a lot of the people in the house didn't even know John went in the house because he went straight into a room that they weren't in, that only the 2 Bryans were in. And maybe they didn't even see him go in the house, And so it was just like, obviously their story was he never came in the house, but just like with his injuries and everything, with the glass that Karen said was in his nose and the cut above his eye, I was like, I don't know how I never thought of that. Like, he was taking a sip when something happened and there was force against his face,
Yeah. No, I mean, that's a story. I just think the people you're dealing with would know how to react to that and understand how many times law enforcement people have walked into tragic accidents and stuff. And as far as the dog, like, everyone in my family knows if Cece bites a kid in the face and takes a nose off, like it's like, okay, sweet pea, let's go. Hop in the car. We're on the run now. Like there's no situation.
No, they just got rid of their dog.
Okay, yeah. Like it's like you and Diesel. It's like, oh, Amy and Diesel are gone. It's like, well, yeah, Diesel bit someone, and
I would never just get rid of Diesel though.
No.
Like literally
Cece
never.
And I would be like, I would pop up in Michigan or something, and he'd be like, "What are you doing back here?" And it's like,
Cece bit someone.
Cece bit someone really bad in the face, and you know they're probably gonna shoot her face or something. So we had to go.
Yeah.
We grabbed a bag.
Well,
of food
I think it's also possible.
We
it's possible something else was happening in that house that they didn't want investigated. I think that's also a possibility.
Well, it could be a combination of things, like you said. Some shit's going down. Like, here's what I noticed with Cece and Chevy here. G loves to wrestle around with Marshall. They'll get into it, and Greg will grab Marshall and smack him on the belly, whatever. The dogs start going ape shit. They look at that as like they're barking, they're yelling, they jump on you. And if you're not, if you're someone not stable on your feet, those dogs will knock you on your ass.
Yeah.
Like shit could go south really quick. And I'm constantly like, calm down. It's okay. I'll grab Cece. And like that could be something where if a fight started to happen in that house, voices got elevated, that dog could have reacted to that. And all of a sudden jumped on John. And now he goes down in some fashion, who knows?
Yeah, that's what I think happened. And I think they panicked and they were like, I think it happened instantly when he came into the house and it was like, throw him out. He never came in the house. Like it didn't fucking happen. And it just, also the reason this is on my mind is because, Karen Reed is involved in some civil lawsuits. She's being sued by John's family, but she's also suing the people who were in the house and the police. One of the people being Michael Proctor. And Michael Proctor had his phone recently seized for like another case and searched, and there's all this information on there. And so Karen Reed's team was like, hey, we want you guys to give us the information that was on his phone. We think it's relevant. And the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office was like, no, you've got to get it through Michael Proctor. So they send Michael Proctor a subpoena. And what does Michael Proctor say? He lost his phone.
Yeah. Probably threw it in the lake.
He lost it. This is the third person involved in the case that has gotten rid of or lost their phone.
Yeah. Yeah, they're hiding
But
something.
It's totally normal. They're not hiding anything, Mike.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. It's what people do. I had a friend that did that. They were like, okay, we need your computer. And it was like, yeah, okay, I cannot find it. Last I knew, we were on a boat with it, and there was chucked it overboard. It was like, yeah, fuck you. You're not going through my computer.
Right.
I think it's way more common than you think. Like, they're never finding a phone you chuck into a lake.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
Hey, shout out to Cliff. He's having surgery tomorrow. He's getting his hammer toes dehammered.
What?
Yeah.
Lucky.
Big toe straightened on both feet, and his feet are weak like your ankles, Mike.
Yeah. I've got a developing hammer on my left toe. I don't know what I did. So tell me how that goes, Cliff. I'm interested.
And also shout out to my sister who's also having surgery tomorrow.
Really?
My mom is in town taking care of her for the weekend or for the week and into the weekend. Yeah, she had back surgery. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. And she's got like screws loose in her back. Like you can feel them. It is gross. It's fucked up. And they did like an x-ray or an MRI or something. And it was like, oh yeah, those screws they need to come out. So
are they going to put new screws in?
I don't know if I think that they just,
has the bone healed?
Yeah, I think they've healed. And so I think they can just come out. But she's got to get those removed. So she's getting that done tomorrow.
Well, good luck.
Good luck to her and Cliff.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Do you see the medical group, major medical group, reverses course on trans surgeries for minors? Yeah.
Plastic surgery.
It's all coming undone, and I am here for all of it, you monsters.
Yes.
You monsters. So the American Medical Association, and as listeners of this fine show know, this has been one of the top subjects for literally 12 years. This bullshit has been going on for way too long. And it's finally, we're getting to that point. I said 10 years ago, it's going to take lawsuits. We'll get to the lawsuit in a second. But the AMA has reversed course on its position concerning trans surgery procedures for minors. The fact that that sentence is even spit out of my mouth is
It's insane. It's
insane.
insane.
In a statement to the National Review, the AMA said the evidence for gender-affirming surgical intervention in minors is insufficient for us to make a definitive statement, adding that it agrees with the American Society of Plastic Surgeons, the ASPS, that surgical interventions in minors should be generally deferred until adulthood. No, it should 100%. If some lunatic adult wants to fucking start removing healthy body parts, do your best. I don't care. You want to tattoo your fucking eyelids and your eyeballs? Knock yourself out, adults. We don't even have the discussion with children anymore. I'm sorry.
No.
It's just absurd. The AMA added that it supports evidence-based treatment, including other types of so-called gender-affirming care for minors. So we still want to Frankenstein your kids. We just got to be really careful about it, is what they're saying there, right? ASPS released a statement on Tuesday that said available evidence does not support genital procedures or removing the titties of young girls who identify as boys. The ASPS also said there was insufficient support for placing kids on puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones. So they're choosing their words carefully there. It's insufficient. We just don't know. What happened to it's totally reversible?
Yeah, right.
That was your stand for the longest time.
Yeah.
No harm, no foul. Totally irreversible.
The fact that it's not reversible is, a scare tactic. It's totally not true. Debunked.
The pivot from the AMA is particularly stark since the association has gone all in on trans procedures for minors, even in the face of mounting evidence that such action is harmful and often irreversible. Also, the timing of the changes is incredibly notable because of the lawsuit a week ago. Mere months ago, the AMA confirmed or reaffirmed its commitment to trans procedures for minors in the wake of the Supreme Court's ruling in the U.S. v. Scrimeti, which effectively allowed states to ban such surgeries. The American Medical Association is disappointed in today's decision that opens the door to further intrusion into patient care and harmful government interference into the practice of medicine. AMA President Dr. Bobby Mukamala said in a statement after the ruling. He added, the AMA opposes efforts by the government to insert itself into the patient-physician relationship and interfere in clinical decision-making with no regard for the clinical standards of care. Well, it appeared that you guys had no fucking regard for the clinical standards of care. The whole do no harm thing that we all believed in.
Yeah.
So sorry, doc, that doesn't hold any water. Moreover, Mukamala makes wild remarks about the benefits of trans procedures for minors, claiming puberty blockers are reversible. That was Ben Shapiro's show played that, and that clip is hard to find. But someone was pressing this Dr. Mukamala on this stuff, and he didn't want to talk about it. Someone was like, "Yeah, but that's not true that it's reversible. That this shit doesn't come with harms and blah blah blah." And that doctor leaned on, "Hey, look, I'm not an expert in this, so give way to the experts in this." And they're like, "Yeah, well, you're," and they tried to press him again, and he starts doing this.
Oh my God.
This is the president.
That's mature.
Yeah. So again, he's the AMA president who can't be bothered. Fuck off. That's what he was doing in that clip. He said on camera he has no business discussing the science that's brought to the American Medical Association from people that spent years in training for this and years taking care of patients. In 23, the AMA passed a resolution that committed to opposing any criminal and legal penalties against patients seeking gender-affirming care. Okay, that's not a thing. That's not a thing. I'm glad you're seeking that. But so you're telling me you were standing firm at the AMA that no one should bring criminal charges against patients seeking gender affirming care as if that's a fucking thing ever?
Right.
Give me a break. They also include in that family members or guardians who support them in seeking medical care and healthcare facilities and clinicians who provide gender affirming care. So they wanted to, go on record to make them all not suable. Good luck, fuckers.
Yeah.
No. So I'm so glad, and I'm so glad to see this. I've been waiting 12 years for these stories to start. New details emerged in the case of a young female detransitioner who last week won a $2 million judgment against the doctors who performed a double titty removal on her when she was 16. Wait, I didn't think that happened to kids.
No, it's just a MAGA talking point.
Yeah, it's a conspiracy theory, right?
Yeah.
Huh.
No, I think the new talking point is it doesn't happen to that many people.
Right. Thousands, but
Small
in the big scheme of things, what's thousands of children?
Yeah.
The plaintiff, Fox Varian, had her healthy titties removed about 1 year after she first started questioning her gender. So less than a year. The teen's mom was also pressured into signing off on the surgery, as one medical professional basically told her, she's going to kill herself without
blackmail.
This. Yeah. Yep.
Emotional blackmail. Would you rather have a dead daughter or an alive son?
Yeah, trans son.
Yeah.
Such a Can you imagine that logic in anything? If it was like
alcoholic
liquor store owner was like, well, we had to sell alcohol to your underage child because they threatened to commit suicide. Would you rather have a dead son or a drunk one?
Right. Literally, exactly. And I made a post earlier today. There is a reason why we don't let kids do that stuff. We don't let them smoke. We don't let them drink. We don't let them gamble. We don't let them vote because they're fucking children and they don't understand the longevity of things and how your decisions affect your future. And that's why you have parents who hopefully look out for you, but and doctors who are hopefully doing the right thing. It's so insane that we got to this point where doctors stopped being doctors and they just affirmed everything a minor told them.
Yeah.
Imagine a minor going in and being like, "Doc, I really want to start drinking. I really want to start drinking. Can you talk to my parents about it?" And the doctor was just like, "Yes.
Yeah,
of course totally. I can. Of course I can."
I mean, this is life and death for you at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is so fucked up. I will never get over the fact that we lived through this like decade of time. And I know I've compared it to it, but the same as the lobotomies. Like it will be looked at as similarly to that.
Yeah.
We sterilized kids.
Dude, I deep dived on the lobotomy thing because I wanted to know, like, in the end, did those doctors just play along? Did they believe that they were doing no harm? Did they believe in what? And it, by and large, yes, they believed that they were doing good. They were the good guys. And then I looked into like how history looks at them. They're looked at as fucking monsters, period.
Yeah.
Like the way, how you cannot see this and see the comparison.
Yeah.
To how doctors, physicians thought when they were doing lobotomies and how they were viewed after the fact.
Yeah.
It's about the same period of time too. This 10-year window of this shit going on. It's remarkable to me. And I hope they all get fucking sued. Every one of them.
Yeah.
You're cutting off in small cases, Amy.
It's just a few people.
Just a few thousand. Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
You're cutting off healthy body parts of children for their well-being. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
What's interesting about that case in New York, though, well, one, it's in New York, which is super liberal, but two, it's interesting because they weren't even arguing that surgery on minors is wrong. What they were arguing in that case was my doctors and my surgeon didn't tell me what the side effects and long-term side effects of this were going to be. And now here I am, and I'm having these side effects. And so it was more so like they were negligent in not telling me what the side effects were versus
In this case
yeah,
that I'm reading right now.
yeah, yeah. I've looked into it. I read a lot about it.
Yeah.
So it was interesting
Well,
because like that wasn't their argument of like you shouldn't do this on minors. It was you didn't tell us all of the. But that I mean that goes to what we're saying. It's like you're not being a doctor anymore. You're just.
To me, it's irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant. You don't. Oh, you didn't inform the 15-year-old enough.
Right.
Well, there is no level of informing a 15-year-old and expecting them to have a developed brain of what is it, 25 before the human brain is fully developed? Like this idea that you would be like, well, it's up to you, 15-year-old, you know.
Yeah.
Let me inform you about all the possible risks. Like irrelevant. So just for those that don't know, psychologist Kenneth Einhorn, just 11 months after Fox variant started to socially transition, the 16-year-old was on an operating table where Dr. Simon Chin removed her titties. In another unsurprising detail, Varian's mother, Claire Deacon, was pressured by medical professionals, namely Einhorn, into signing off on her daughter's transition. Einhorn insisted Varian was going to kill herself without the surgery.
Finkel, Einhorn, Finkel, Einhorn.
Claire, the mom, was effectively presented with the option of a dead daughter or a son who has undergone trans procedures. The jury found the medical professionals failed to consider other possible explanations for the mental health issues that this girl was having, like depression, ADHD, autism, body dysmorphia, and rushed to approve irreversible surgery. Varian, who recently turned 22, was awarded $1.6 million for past and future suffering, additional $400,000 for future medical costs. I would say not nearly enough.
No,
not nearly enough. $2 million, Amy. Oh, by the way, we're taking your titties when you're 15, 16.
Right.
$2 million for your life? No. That should easily be a $20 million judgment. Easily.
Yeah.
There are more than you cut off healthy body parts of a 16-year-old girl.
It's insane. I cannot believe that actually happened. And people were just like, okay.
There are more than 24 cases still pending similar to hers, with detransitioners suing medical professionals for irreversible harm. Varian's verdict could be the beginning of the end of the mutilation of children in the name of transgenderism. They're underage. They should all win. I hope every one of these cases win. And those kids should go up on that stand and go, why would you take my input for it? I was a kid.
Yeah, right.
Like you thought I was listening and really comprehending what I was actually doing to myself at that young age?
It's insane.
And the threat of suicide does not get you out of it. So what? Any kid threatens suicide and we just give in to whatever they fucking want? That's not how that works. What you do with someone who threatens suicide, that was the telltale when I was growing up. If you said, I'm having suicidal thoughts, you were put in a fucking room, dude. You were put in a room and you were dealt with until we got to what was going on with this. You didn't send them home and go, well, I don't know, maybe we cut off a healthy body part. Right. That ought to fix their problems.
Right.
In what magical world? It's just unbelievable. But yeah, I hope they all fucking sue. I think they will. I think they'll all win. The fact that there's more than 24 cases, I know it's rare.
Yeah.
But a couple dozen cases in court now. And I'm really glad because I thought this is how this would go, that it would require lawsuits. Yeah. Money speaks. And these kids are going to grow up and they're going to go, wait, you did what to me? My parents allowed it? This therapist requested it? Doctors approved it? What the fuck was wrong with all of you?
Right. Right.
I'll take my $40 million now.
Right.
Since I'll never have an orgasm. And now I have a micropene.
Right. Yeah.
No. By the way, before we get to some email or something, did you see our beat writer David Burkett Lions beat writer. I think, hold on, let me make sure this is in here. Yeah, do not use this. Okay, here it is. Talking with the doctor.
I mentioned
He's at the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw this. It's behind the paywall, but David Chow is this doctor here, and he's talking with Lions beat reporter Dave Burkett, and provides an expert long-term outlook on the Lions' key injured players: Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, Sam Laporta, etc. This doesn't sound good, Ames. I got to be honest with you.
Lions had mega injury problems last year, and they did again this year. It was a different sort of, it hit a different position group. The secondary was hit hard. Kirby Joseph had a knee problem he battled all year. Brian Branch tore his Achilles late in the year. How big a concern are either of those injuries going forward?
I mean, my first question I'd have to ask you, I don't know where the Detroit Lions practice, but are they next to an electrical substation?
Right.
That seems to be the talk here.
That's obviously in relation to the 49ers, who practice next to substation, and people there are asking a million questions about, is this electrical substation that they practice on top of having something to do with the rash of injuries the 49ers players have had over the last 10 years? Because they've been, much like the Lions, very, very injured. So that's the reference and joke there.
Well, we'll get into maybe the reasons why people think the Lions have all these injury problems in a minute. You know, the physicality of the practices under Dan Campbell, but no electrical substation to my knowledge.
Let's start with good news. Okay, you're right. The Sports Injury Central would deal a lot with cluster injuries, and you guys had cluster injuries last year on the defensive front, especially. Now it was the DBs this year. And yes, 2 years in a row, bad injury luck. No question about it. I thought the Lions would have a great, I thought just variance to the norm in terms of injury would have outweighed losing your coordinators. So I actually believed in the Lions this year, but the injury stuff didn't happen. So the common thing is, well, maybe it was the coordinators. Well, maybe it was the injuries again, right? Who knows? Brian Branch, relative optimism that he will return to full form. When is the question? It's asking a lot given his late nature of the injury to return. It's one thing for a Kirk Cousins at quarterback to return and play. It's another thing for Aaron Rodgers when he was with the Jets. I said when he had his week 1 injury, I said it's not impossible for him to return in the playoffs because he plays quarterback. Brian Branch can't do that. He needs to be at a much higher level to get on the field. That is the only reason I'm saying I would be shocked, surprised if we were ready at 100% week 1. I would be shocked and surprised if he weren't back to pretty good form at some point next season. The question is week 4 or week 14, right? I don't know. And, but at least you can expect him back.
Kirby Joseph, that may be the bigger long-term concern. I mean, Kirby's a guy that Lions fans know out there. He missed the bulk of the season with a recurring knee problem.
What is he? He's 25, I think, and just signed a new deal. Kirby Joseph?
I think so.
Right? Am I correct about that? That he was off the rookie deal, signed a new deal. He's come into his own and regarded as one of the best in the league, was an absolute ball hawk. Love Kirby Joseph. And we couldn't get him back on the field.
Seems to be a cartilage problem in the knee. He said he's going to pursue non-surgical treatments this offseason, stem cell therapy. We'll see what else is out there. But, the Lions signed him to a big deal last year. Obviously, they were counting on him to be an important part of the secondary. Now I guess the question is what percentage Kirby Joseph we may see next year, and how much of that contract can Lions fans expect to see him live out?
This one's a little dicier, Dave, a little dicier. And once again, rooting for him. But articular cartilage is the holy grail. If you could reproduce or regrow articular cartilage, you win the Nobel Prize, okay? It is the holy grail.
Let's put AI on that.
Okay, and it's the tread on your tires. You can't just get retreads or put new tires on. How do you replace the rubber on your tires? That's the articular cartilage. Yeah. Poor vasculature, very difficult. I'll give you one comp, not the same comp. Very early in his career, Jadeveon Clowney had a microfracture surgery. That is for full thickness cartilage loss in an isolated area. And I said, ooh, that can be career altering. He's outproduced expectations. Look at his longevity. But that's also why he's never gotten a long-term deal, because everyone's always worried about that knee. Kirby Joseph, I don't know the extent of his knee, but when you're starting to talk about stem cells, that means you're beyond even microfracture. And look, Hail Marys get completed, game-winning drives in 30 seconds get completed. Stem cells can help, but it's not, one first down and you get kneel downs to win the game. It's not that. It's very dicey. And so I wish him the best, but this is not good news for a young player and not good news for the Detroit Lions. Look, if you can get some time out of him over the next year or two, couple of years, I think that would be a victory. To say that he's going to fulfill this contract and get another one is a Hail Mary.
That
that's a bummer.
sucks to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as he said, looking at medical procedures, like, yeah, we're going to a witch doctor and a fucking, like, oh God. And
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the nature of his injury or whatnot, but I don't know. The Lions got to figure it out.
yeah, it
They've
just
gotta
sucks,
figure it
dude. I was watching, that they had a big documentary on the Niners over the weekend, 4-part AMC. It's great. The Rise of the 49ers. Tom Brady does discusses it. Anyway, it's obviously means something to me as a kid growing up watching those teams. And so in my algorithm, a lot of like, 49ers 7. So I end up watching like a 17-minute highlight video on the championship game in 1989, Niners and Rams. And one thing stood out to me, which was everybody on that roster was on that field. Okay. So these guys played a whole season. It was Montana and Rice and Craig and Lott and John Taylor and all the starting offensive line and the starting defensive line and all their corners and their special teams, like every one of them. And they played the whole game. And it's like, can you even imagine if the Lions were able to field the team they've put together? Can you even imagine?
Yeah,
Not in the championship game, in week 4.
Yeah.
In week 4.
I know.
It's watching this game now. It's like, I'm like every play. It's like, oh God, everybody get up and walk. Like,
yeah, it's a whole lot of luck.
it's
I mean, they play more
unreal.
games. They're more violent. They're hitting different.
They're not more violent. Those hits in those games were fucking
No, but-
insane.
No, but I don't mean more violent.
The
They're more
speed.
athletic. They're more athletic.
I think it's got to be the food we're eating. It's got to be training regimen. It's got to be something.
I think it's the way
I don't
that
know.
they're. I mean, the way that they're tackling. They've had to completely change how they play, and because they can't hit the head. So, I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. That sucks, but
Yeah.
above my pay grade to figure it out. So hopefully they can figure it out.
Yeah. No, it just
part of
sucked.
being a good team is you've got to have a fucking backup plan. You can't expect to. It's not the 80s. You can't expect to make it to the end
Yeah.
of the season with the team that you started the season with. So part of
Well-
it is you got to have decent backups. You got next man up.
Absolutely, it's next man up. But I look at like just how hard it is to hit. And when you're talking about corners and safeties, it's so critical. And to get one where you go, oh shit, this guy could be generational. Like he's one of
I
those.
just didn't get that vibe from Kirby Joseph.
Oh, I love
generation. I mean, I like him, but generation.
He's a couple years in. You know what I mean? He's an all pro. He's a guy that stabilizes a defense. And then you go, oh, at 25, his knee's completely shot of cartilage, and you're doing witch doctor shit to get back on the like.
I mean, that's also not like a new thing, I feel like. So shame on them if they didn't know he had that issue going into that contract. You don't just develop shitty cartilage.
Yeah, you wouldn't think. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he had a history of it. I'd never even heard of him before he became a Lion. I wasn't following his college career.
Yeah.
You want to do a read, Aim, and then we'll just do a couple notes here and call it a day. And then members can join us tomorrow, patreon.com/TDC podcast. You seem like you're in a bummer mood. What's wrong?
No, nothing. Start the new year right and join the Deer Lake Athletic Club in Clarkston. They offer adult and junior tennis, pickleball, swim lessons, plus the junior swim team, the Deer Lake Dolphins. The fitness classes are included with the membership. They have a gym, cycle room. They have 3 Pazools, but I don't know, maybe just 2 right now. The backcourt restaurant inside the DLAC is also open to the public. Don't recommend going in there if your kids are in the pool. Monday through Thursday, 4 p.m., Friday and Saturday at 11, Sunday at 10, for their brunch and their free bingo. Visit their website, deerlakeathletic.club.com, for more info and about the club and the banquet center, or call 248-625-8686 and shout out to them. We're thinking of you guys and know this is a tough time for everyone over there. So if you're in the area, stop by and give them some love. Tough time for everyone, for sure.
Absolutely. People were commenting on our Patreon show.
What about?
When we were playing the Springsteen song for Minnesota,
uh-huh.
and the March family.
Oh my God, that fucking family.
We should do some tomorrow. We should find some more Marsh family when they get involved.
Yeah,
I know, but
they're the
worth
worst.
It. Oh, these performative douchebags. The theater class, I just can't take when they insert themselves into these like real conversations going on, and they're gonna fucking art form their way into making a statement. Oh,
such losers.
It's not the 60s. Such dorks. So our boy DG timed in. That Springsteen song sounds like some horse shit you'd hear in a Hallmark movie that some douche is singing in a dive bar. I've never wanted to punch earbuds into my own ears so badly as I have today. Bruce was bad enough, but those limey turds and their stupid kids put me over the edge. That kid with his furrowed eyebrows. Totally. And then Lynn also, I had to switch from audio to the video feed just to see the March family. So funny. Yeah, you can always watch us on video. It's better than just listening.
Yeah.
But send us your thoughts. Walters@DetroitCast.com. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow with a Patreon show, patreon.com/TDC podcast. Or you can watch in real time live. Amy set up a YouTube members area.
Yep.
So I don't know. Is there anything people need to know to do that if they want to?
No, you can join over on YouTube as a member, and you can watch the live stream when we go live.
Yeah.
And record. So just like this, but
it's actually live.
Patreon.
Yep. So if you're not a member, if you've been thinking about signing up, YouTube might be a good way, or Patreon. But with YouTube, you can watch it live as it's going on. So,
well, maybe we can go a little earlier tomorrow, Mike. I have to take Rocky to the airport. Rocky and his friends are going to Florida for the weekend to golf.
Oh, nice. Good for them. Yeah, we can totally go earlier. Yep,
okay.
Whatever you need. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of the day. We'll see you members tomorrow. The rest enjoy the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And we'll see some of you on Monday and the rest this weekend. Bye.
Yeah.